dear. Wow, this is a popular show. Got 5 watching. Wow. People must be really loving this new feature. So okay, then we've got 5 in. Maybe they'll join in, but we'll get our guest in now. Scott Owens is doing Tiny Treasure Hunter. Philip Wills. Roseanne, she digs it. Happy Swinging. We've also got Michigan Gems was in the chat earlier. So let's get him on.
Hello, Jason. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Have you been out today?
No, not today. I've been on a few digs this week and family time today. So walking the dog, had my son, and
it's family day tomorrow because it's Mother's Day.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but sadly, yeah, mine's no longer with us. But anyway,
yeah.
But no, I'm going digging tomorrow. So my good lady's off to see her mother, and then I'm allowed to go out digging. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
What about yourself? You out tomorrow?
I was out today. I travelled an hour to go out detecting with the old man, and
oh, nice.
We went out to a field that he thought was still available. We got out there, and it had been ploughed, left ploughed. Baked in the hot sun, so it was literally rock hard, and it was like I ain't walking across that. That is way too iffy for the ankles. If I roll my ankle on that, it's going to screw me up for work.
It's coming to the end of the season.
Derbyshires just joined. Gareth, evening, mate. The Bud
evening,
File.
Gareth.
Scott Owens.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. So we ended up going on some pasture, and it weren't great. It really wasn't. Normally, a day like that, it would just suck the enthusiasm right out of me. It become demoralising and everything. But persevered, and I missed it on another bucket lister. Me brother found another cartwheel.
Oh,
yeah. He said, "Why don't you just dig a plug, bury it in there, and film it?" And I said, 1, I'm not planting my finds, and 2, I ain't got nothing else for the video. There's just literally nothing there to film. So, digging Canuck. How's it going, Liz?
If you want it on camera, then do you know what? As long as you've genuinely found it, I mean, come on. You know, you want it to appear. If that's one of your bucket listers and you haven't got that on film, I mean, crying out loud, I think most people excuse your bucket lister being replanted for you to show as a dug item. But
you think if I'd have planted it to make it look like I dug it, and when I've actually found one, it just takes all the joy out of it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be checking your eBay at Detectival, so don't worry.
Speaking of Detectival, have you got your tickets booked?
Have they gone on sale?
Yeah, they're up for sale now, mate. I've got mine.
No, I need to get that sorted. Hi, Digging Canuck.
Roseanne said she was out today and she got a nice little Roman.
Oh, nice.
I've seen the pictures. Roseanne. They're really good. They are.
I've not been on social media for today, so I've just, like I say, it's been out with family. But but yeah, I'm still coming down from some of the big finds. So
I'll tell you, if there's one thing I can say, although it was gold, it wasn't old gold. When I found that gold on that beach, when I got back home and I went out detecting afterwards, everything just seemed crap.
Yeah.
And it was like it was curse of finding the gold. Now, Gareth, Dukes of Derbyshire, I don't know what his following weeks were after Detectable last year, but when he found those 2 sovereigns within the space of a foot of each other, what were the rest of his digs like for a couple of weeks after that?
That was because I was about 7 tenths up from Gareth, and I wandered over and saw those 2 lovely beauties that he dug up, and they were lovely and fantastic. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Right, your link is pinned into the top of the chat. So if there's anybody that comes in and isn't subscribed to Future Bleeps, please pop over and sub to him. He's the silent detectorist. You won't see his face in his videos. Appearing on a show like this tonight is a rarity. You broke your live stream virginity with Roseanne because that was the day that you got back with that gold, wasn't it?
I know I owe you a bit of an apology because I did say I'd come on your live first, but I was, when you just find that your first, Celtic Stater, and I just couldn't help myself, and I apologise to you, Jason, and because it was your show and you were a guest, and I came away from that show feeling a little bit bad. That
Don't matter, mate. I tell you what,
crashed.
if I'd have found that, I'd have bombarded somebody's live stream as well.
Oh, bless you. But
and then you popped on with, did you pop on the Horseman show on Friday, or was it with Kev after that?
It was, once a little bit with Kev, to meet Kev and Will and and Roseanne and that, and then, but this is my first big show, And
well, we got 14, so this is really massive.
Is it creeping up?
It's creeping up, yeah.
Roseanne's on.
I still don't know what people's thoughts are on this type of thing. I know we've got other shows that that's what they do. They have about an hour and a half slot talking about detecting and they guests on and all that. But like I've always been involved with Robert and Kev doing the fun thing on a Friday, and then when Dig It Mark stepped away from YouTube for a break, I said to Tezza that I jump on every other Saturday and help him out. And now obviously Tezza's got things going on with him that he wants to try, and so I wasn't just going to drop it. I thought, well, let's give it a go, and if it doesn't work out, then what we'll do is we'll probably just go back to every Saturday.
Last.
8 till late. We'll just do our usual sort of thing, and get some open up the link to anybody to pop on. But we'll see how it goes. It's only in an hour, which is why I want to do it like this.
Yeah,
get an hour of have a guest on, and then people are looking back at my videos. They see, it's only an hour long. Looks like a proper detecting chat. We'll have a go.
I certainly enjoy all the content you guys put out. So it's all good. It splits the week up.
It's hard doing this
community.
It's hard doing this segment, although I've got 2 weeks to prepare. It's like trying to find people that want to come on and talk, try to help those people that have got less subs than me. But I'm not a big channel, but I don't mind helping out people because I was down at that level before. So bring them up closer to me and, just help the little people out because I am a little person as well. I'd like to help myself. Right, so let's get straight. We'll go 18 in now. Right.
Hi everybody. Hope everyone is well and being lucky.
Tidy Treasure under Scott Owens, Michigan Gems, Percy the Mercy and Detective Scott Owens, Thomas the Viking King Detectorist. We've got Ludicus Detects Jackie. So basically the first one I did was with the Soil Sisters.
Cracking show.
Thank you. It's what I like to have is a little bit of feedback to see how it went. That way, if people do like this actual segment, then I'll aim to keep it going. Otherwise, what I do is I'll just bin it and revert back to an 8 till late where we have a bit of fun and get some other people on. It's not the same without Tezza. It's a lot harder when you're doing it on your own. I know, and I do miss him.
Such great fun. What a guy.
So I've basically got the same sort of questions as what I asked the Soul Sisters, except for the quick fire fun questions at the end are slightly different. But if anybody wants to ask Future Bleeps a question, put it in the chat, just so that I can spot it easier. Just put in capital letters question and then what the question is, and I'll try to bring it up so Future Bleeps can answer it. So right then, so let's kick it off. How long have you been detecting them?
This 3 years. So this is my 4th year.
See, I'd have thought someone like you might have been doing it a bit longer.
Well, you can't really count the kids' years with the Tandy machine.
No.
But just over 3 years. So
a little bit longer than me then.
Just a little bit.
I'm in my 3rd year now, so
yeah.
Well, there's crafting with Gertie, Mandy. Hello there, Auntie Mandy.
Hello,
that is. How did you get into detecting?
my good lady got me watching The Detectorist. The first episode, I just thought, what is this? This is really slow, really. Second episode hooked and kind of forgot all about it. And that was that. And I remember passing comment as you do, I wouldn't mind having a go at detecting again. And used to have one when I was a kid. And then Christmas came along and I got past the really small, which I see a lot of detectorists use, the really small spade. And I'm 6'2", and I'm thinking, why have I got this small spade? But and then this big box sat on my lap on Christmas Day, and I unwrapped it and couldn't believe it was my first metal detector. And I'll be honest, a few tears came rolling down my face. It was like I was sort of 12 years old again. I was so over the moon. So seriously, I did. I had a few tears because I was just over the moon to be starting a new hobby, which I'd always wanted to do. That's how I got into metal detecting.
We've got a first question in the chat, which is from Tidy Treasure Hunter. How easy was it to fold up bleeps?
We know what he's on about. Just implemented those holiday tactics of doing your towel.
Yeah. Dropped from the sky, that did. Caught a breeze.
That's unbelievable. Just fluttering away. I mean, couldn't believe it.
There you go. We got a question from Michigan Gems, which is, do you do any beach detecting?
I have done. I used to do lots. My previous work took me up to Hull and down to Southampton and all of the east of England. And I used to base myself when I went away with work in North Norfolk. And I always used to detect Old Hunt Stanton Beach, which was quite a quiet beach. But yeah, I love beach detecting. It's a different ball game, but yeah, love it. But sadly, not so much these days. Although I am going to be going next weekend to a beach. I booked a nice weekend away with family. And I've already tested the walk with the young lad and asked him if he wants to take the detectors, and he replied yes. So it looks like I will be going next weekend.
Cool. Right. So most of us will know what machine you use, but for those who don't, would you like to tell people what machine you use?
I currently use the Deus one. Yeah, the original Deus. Yeah. Is
that the Deus Lite or the proper Deus?
The proper Deus, yeah, the proper Deus. I started out, that Christmas present that I got was a Garrett. It was a Euro Ace 250, and plug in headphones, and I loved it. Straight away, I knew. I mean, I didn't find much within the first sort of 3 months of detecting, because you're getting used to, in the Garrett's case, you're getting used to the bongs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just cracked on with it and was finding some nice bits and pieces, and just genuinely fell in love with the hobby. And then a mate of mine said, "Oh, I've got a detector. Do you want to borrow it?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." And I dropped off this Knox, 800, and I used that for a month. And
that little kiddie machine.
Yeah, no, not really. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and even realised that you could get wireless headphones and everything else, and I was blown away with that, and then sort of got even more then into finishing the detectorist and thinking, what machines are they using on the detectorist? And saw it was the CTX and also the Deus, and I managed to get hold of a Deus, and yeah, as soon as I picked it up, I couldn't believe how light it was, and I go out detecting, I'm gone from sometimes 7 a.m. till 11 o'clock at night. I'm very blessed in that respect that I can get away with that. When you're swinging all day, it helps to have that kind of really lightweight machine. But there's so many fantastic machines out there these days. There really are, and it's the great thing for us is they're always inventing new gadgets to come out with, and it's a thriving hobby industry.
There's a question from Crafton McGurty. What is the oldest thing that you have found?
Well, the oldest thing I found was actually only a couple of weeks ago, when I found my Celtic gold stater, my first gold coin. I think that's 2067 years old, which it just blows my mind that how they made that coin, and Yeah. So that's my oldest find, and I still can't believe it. And I cried my eyes out when I dug that up as well. As
That'll take
Sifter
us on
announced it.
to that'll take us on to a question by Roseanne. How long did it take you to stop looking at your gold coin?
You don't stop. I've looked at it every single day since I found it, and it's going up to the flow on May the 10th, I think, where I've booked an appointment in with them. I've recorded it remotely with them, and they said that's fine. But yeah, I just want to take it up and touch base with him because I've not met my flow yet because of pandemic. He's had such a backlog as a lot of finds liaison officers have. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going up and meeting and showing him.
Cool. Just seeing if there's any more questions.
Hey Percy, how you doing?
Yeah. So
hello to everybody in the chat. Hello to everybody.
So obviously that your machine you go. So basically, you just went through your thoughts on the machine because it's nice and light and easy to use with no wires and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, because I was traveling with work a lot, I was traveling, so I'd pack one of them really sort of micro suitcases, and this thing amazingly fit in there as well. And so yeah, that's why I've settled for that machine. But lightweight, and also the multi-tones just really stand out to me. Really a lot, the multi-tones on it is just beautiful. You can really recognize what things are. Gives you that bit more of an advantage, I find, anyway. That's what I like.
How many tones is it on there?
There's 5.
5. See, on the Knox you've got 50, but you've got to be seriously attuned to each of those tones to identify what it is. So I'm happy sticking with 5 on the Knox.
Yeah, that's all we really need. All we want to know if it's a grunty iron or if it's a nice iron, potentially, i.e. an axe head. And then when you're digging. The great thing about the Deus is it's got an XY screen. It's got a horseshoe.
That's with the line, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. So when you get a silver or a gold coin, the line is just so beautiful, cuts through that screen and tells you or gives you a good notice. Whereas when you get stuff like aluminium, it will be kind of roughed. It'd be a rough signals, but you still have to dig these things to find out what they are. If in doubt, dig it out.
Question of Treasure Nation. Now you
have Treasure Nation.
Anonymity, if that's how you say it. Will you now be talking and showing your face in your videos?
No, I don't think I'm going to. I just love detecting so much that, and I'm a perfectionist, so I'd end up doing 14 takes for every time I speak. And when you just want to get out there and dig holes and find things, it's plus there's so many other great channels that are already doing that. Yourself and everybody else. I think there's another channel that I follow. He doesn't speak, and he puts subtitles on his channel. And there's, I think, my channel where I like the sound of the bees. It's all soporific to me. You tune in at 11 o'clock at night, and I'll put you to sleep. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, that's because you got the sound of nature and the birds around you. That will drop you off to sleep.
It will.
The content is fine. It's just having that soothing, sounds in the background. And if I come home and I sit down and have work, if I start watching one of your videos, I am literally like that. So literally, I have to have my power chip, and then I can watch one of yours without actually falling. Because if I do nod off, I feel, oh my god, I dozed off during one of his videos. Well, but it's the tranquil sounds in the background.
They're only 10 minutes long, so yeah, you'd have missed it anyway.
I think that's about an optimal time, between 10 and 20 minutes for a video. There's a lot of channels out there that I like watching, but when you click on it and you check the timestamp, and some of them like 34 minutes, and there's no way I'm going to sit through and watch all of it. I used to do it, but it's spent so long watching those videos to give them all the minutes. Yeah. I just have to sort of keep scrolling through a couple of bits to get to the good bits. If it's between 10 and 20 minutes, I will sit there and watch every minute.
I think that's pretty much what a lot of people do.
So So your first machine was a what? A
Garrett Eurice 250.
And what were your thoughts on it?
Loved it. I really absolutely loved it. You can, I look back on that machine and just think it just sowed that seed for falling in love with this hobby even more. And so yeah, it's the only downer it had, because it's quite a basic machine, and I didn't know there was a kit. Obviously, it had a coil, it was connected to the machine. Of course, you dig a hole, off come the headphones, and then you dig, and then back go. It drove me insane. But the machine itself, solid, everything was great with it. It really was. But yeah, I remember searching the price of machines after that, and I thought, crikey, how am I going to get away with this? Because it's quite a jump up sort of, and also.
Yeah.
Also, you're sort of, I didn't sell the Garrett Euroway straight away. My son used it for a while, and again, he really enjoyed it as well. I think obviously he was about 10 at the time, and then soon I started spying. Looking at, I'd buy a Knox or a Deus, then then that's when I knew I was going to sort of. I had to say to the good lady, I'd say, "Oh, I'm going to sell the machine, I'm afraid." And she, what? But yeah, the money went.
I'm in it for the real. I'm in it for real now, so I need a step up.
Up to there, I was.
A wife swap only works if the wife is willing. Tried it once. Kim wasn't willing. Had a black eye for 2 weeks.
You're brave trying it, Scotty, if I'm honest.
If money was no issue, what machine would you buy?
Oh, it would still probably be in the XP, but you could have. I've got a Deus Lite now, and I've got a Deus. My son uses the Deus Lite, so just the headphones. But yeah, if money was no issue, then you'd go and seek out which is the best of the two. But I just can't believe some of the Legend that's come out. What a machine that looks! I mean, you don't have to spend.
I think it's going to be a cracking machine. I can't warrant. It's decently priced. It really is, but I can't warrant going out and spend that. Even if I sold the Simplex and put it towards it, because I've only had the Knox for just over 12 months, and I'm still learning that. And I love the Knox. I don't know, it gets a lot of stick for its quality build. It's
Swap that on for you.
Yeah, being a bit delicate and stuff like that. But I generally do love the Knox, and
don't change it. It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
You see a lot, and there are a lot of channels that do get multiple machines. Whether it's through their sponsors or whether they're they're testers or whatever, and they do such a good job of reviewing these machines, and people learn so much off them. I'm not in that category. So if I had another machine, it would either sit there for gathering dust, or the next time I go out, it would literally be a boring learning process again. So I'm just going to stick with what I know, and there's no point, getting another machine if I'm still learning what I've got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning the Deus, but I've just only a couple of weeks ago I listed one of my kidneys on eBay in order to fund the Deus 2. So fingers crossed that sells for some big money, and then I'll have a new machine. But I'm not going to get rid of the Deus. I'll sell my Deus Lite because that's my one my son using, and my son will then use the Deus full, and then I'll have the fingers crossed I'll get the Deus 2. But I'm not in a rush, like I say, because on the 15th I dug up my first Celtic gold coin, so it's not broke.
No,
but I want to learn that next technology, so you keep up with everything.
Right. So, what is your best find?
That's it. It's definitely the Celtic gold stater.
Right, that's answered that one.
Yeah.
What is your favourite find? Sometimes they can fall in two categories, can't they?
Yeah, they really do actually. My favourite finds is crotal bells. The pattern that I find.
No, let's make you big screen for that.
I'm very lucky as I find a few of these.
The detail. Is it an actual original ringer, or did you have to put something in there?
No, it's original ringer.
You lucky boy.
Couple. Yeah, there's a few.
You've got a couple of ringers.
I'd
love to find a crotal bell that's a ringer.
I know, it's funny because I watch a lot of shows and people, I find Romans galore and don't find any. Well, I'm the other way around. I live in Hertfordshire, not too far from St Albans, Verulamium. But I've found two beaten up Roman coins, okay, and a Celtic. But I think I've found now 12 Crotal Bell ringers, but I love them. That and unbelievably as well is World War II shrapnel, copper shrapnel. Love the stuff. Just absolutely pings. And World War II timers as well.
What a timer!
Yeah, that's a timer from a World War II
Oh, that's make you big.
artillery shell.
Oh, what do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the head of one of the puppets from the Puppet Master. Another one had the drill bit head.
Yeah.
I bet that rang up a beauty, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I find them quite a lot because where one of my permissions is, the guns, Second World War guns, were lined up, and I find a lot of those timers. Not usually with the cone on the top, but they have this broken off. Yeah, so I find quite a few of those, but yeah, I get quite a mixed bag on my area, so it's really nice.
There you go. Paul from History Dig in Hampshire. Do you sleep with the old pillow?
It's not far away. It's
I
not
can
far
bet.
away.
I can
think
imagine.
the first week I woke up and it was right beside me, and I just kept looking at it, shaking my head in disbelief, because of all the gold coins I thought I'd ever find, it was definitely not one of those. I thought I'd find what Gareth found. I think he found two half sovereigns. I thought I was going to find a half sovereign, because there are plenty of those out there. They were minted throughout, but to find a Celtic, yeah, it's dream come true.
Oh, look at this. That's a nice comment. Jason, you've been working out. You're looking buff.
You're always sexy. What are you on about?
Yeah,
always gorgeous.
I've put my category in. From there down to there is good. From there upwards is not so good, and then from there downwards is the ultimate dad bod I've got.
You're lovely, mate.
Oh, lovely. You're making me blush in a minute.
Great to spend some time with you, Detectable, mate. Really.
We'll be doing it again this year as well, mate.
Yeah, I'll be straight after this. I'm booking my tickets and then going for a dog walk, then coming back on.
What is your strangest find?
My strangest find? Oh, blimey. I think one of my strangest finds is I've only found a couple of bits. Is graphite. It's like it's been used as a pencil. I'd love to get it dated, but you can see where it's got a flat edge.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, I found a couple of these bits, and like I say, they're graphite. Which way? That way. There we go. Really weird, but they. I know you love to mention about the DAS being a coke machine, but those came up as a true nice signal. And when I dug them, they were literally side by side. These. When I dug them, I was thinking, well, they're not coke, and then I realised it was actually graphite. What you'd have in a pencil. That's quite strange.
Pelican's got half of a question. Did you put the?
I did. Many times.
There you go. He's answered that one for you. He did many times. He's probably on his phone and pushed the send button by mistake, didn't he?
We've all done that. We've all been
there. Right. What is your preferred ground to detect on?
Oh. Well, my farmer doesn't plough at all. It's all done with injection, bunny rollers. As soon as he's rollered, which is not far from now, and you get these perfect lines, and of course it's easy to follow. It's just just down and then back, and it's a massive guideline. So
you do lines then?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, especially
I started off
fields like that.
Yeah, well, I started off with the permission outside our estate. Again, I did that. I followed when it was like stubble. It's easier to walk, and literally I've done all of that field in lines. We got some good stuff off it. When I'm out with my dad, we just have like a random walkabout, because I don't know what they've done and what they haven't done. So we just have a wandering walk, and I don't think they do lines and grid it out properly that way, because otherwise they're taking the fun out of it. They sort of like remember roughly where they went, but they prefer to do their random walks rather than grid it out.
Yeah, and those lines are there for about sort of 5, 6 weeks, so that's really good. This is quite an odd find that I found. It's a bit of scrap silver or platinum or whatever it is, but it rung up so beautiful. It's a lovely
wow.
heavy piece of silver, and I've found about, not this size, I found one, two, three. I found 6 pieces of random silver in this field. I love that size. It reminds me of the moon, just all cratered.
So
I knew it was,
that's nothing that you'd have to notify to the flow or anything, no?
well, I don't. There's no date on it. I can't, because obviously I don't know if it's 300 years because there's no date on it. But
Because is it something that they would have like melted like silver down for when they're like making anything, or
it could be. I'm taking quite a big box with me when I see the flow, so This is gonna go in and another bit of silver.
there you
But
go.
this
Kev
was,
said melt it.
yeah. Well, this was completely black, and then I put it in my. I've got one of them. What do you call it? One of those spinners, like a rock spinner. And I put this in, and I knew it was something unusual because of these dots on the top, those dots on there. And I'm glad I kept it, and it is silver without a shadow of a doubt, or of that, a precious metal.
Cool. What 5 things are on your bucket list? And obviously, you smashed the one of them, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty at the top for me. I'd love to find a Roman gold coin, a Roman silver coin, an Iron Age axe head, an arrow head as well. What else could there be? And a hoard. There you go.
Hoard.
Yeah.
See,
well,
we were having a break at lunch today, and there was an old couple that were doing a hike or something or other. They were literally walking down the road next to where we were, and they stopped for a chin wag. And my dad was doing most of the talking, and he said, "Why, like it's the gold. That's what everybody aspires to find." And I sort of like just waltz up with me sandwich and go, "Well, that's because you set your standards so high."
Hi.
I said, "I'm not really interested. If I can find."
Bless you.
That was my wife. Bless you. Mine isn't set up that high. I want I want to find that cartwheel penny, and that is what is literally gonna it's gonna possess me, the eagerness to find that. It really is. So if I do find gold, it'll be nice, and I won't it's not like I won't celebrate it, but it's just these little things that that make
I'm
it
the same.
easier.
When I go out, I just plan to have a good time, get some fresh air, and I'm happy, believe it or not, is finding World War II shrapnel. I really am. But if something else pops up, then I'm really happy.
Master. Oh, bear with me, Spence.
No worries, mate. Hello to everybody in the chat. Lovely to see you all. Detective Kev, what a legend. Digging Hampshire, Budicus Detects, Emma Walker, Matty's Metal Detects in South Wales, hello. Suffolk Sifter, a legend. Tidy Treasure, great channels, all of them, follow them all. Robert Hunter Collinson, can't forget my brother. Is Tezza in the chat tonight?
I haven't seen him.
Well, hello to Tezza anyway, if you're about. And if you're not,
if he's watching this on playback.
Yeah, bless him. He was ill recently, wasn't he?
Yes. Bad for a couple of weeks, I think it was.
Was he? Bless him.
Chest infection or something. Right, what would you like to find that isn't on your bucket list? It's always a trickier because you've always got a bucket list of what you want to find, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you got the top $5 million, yeah.
It's just something else you then can research. I mean, I don't know if you've got it, but I bought one of the decent selling books. I think it's Finds Unidentified, and it's things like this. And I remember digging this, and you just don't know sometimes what things are. And I flipped through this. I flipped through the book, and
let me make it big. I'm good at making men big.
And I recognised this in the book. Forgive my
steel? Was it a pin badge?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what it was, and then I kept it. I'm so glad I did. And then I looked in the book. It's actually a really early padlock,
Oh wow!
and the key would go in there, and then it would then release a mechanism inside, which would allow this then to, to move and come out.
That is
I've never,
well
yeah,
smart.
it's just a beautiful thing, and it's in the I forgot what page it's in, but it's in the Finds Identified first book.
That is a thick book.
Yeah, it's lovely. If you haven't
How
got
much was it?
I can't remember. I got it as a gift, but I highly recommend getting it. It's got some great stuff in there. And again, you can just go through that book and go, I want to find that, and everything, because it's all out there underneath our feet.
See, I shocked my mum for Christmas when she said, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, "Mum, I'm 44 now. Just put a little bit more money to the kids." She goes, "No, well, you're still my child, so I'm going to get you something for Christmas. What do you want?" So I shocked her. I asked for some books. I had a Guide to Metal Detecting by Unearthed UK's Graham.
Yeah.
A book on buckles, because sometimes I find a buckle and I want to be able to identify it.
I need to get a book.
I think the wife bought me from a charity shop, must have been for about £3, a 2014 edition Spink book.
Great,
so I might have to get an updated one, because obviously as you go in along, more coins will be unearthed.
Yeah.
So basically they're going to be updating it. So it's since I've done this, it's like I'm getting the things I never really cared about, like exercise, books. I'm learning history, which I couldn't be bothered to do at school. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm dyslexic, so studying at school was and history wasn't on one of my subjects. It was clowning around and flirting, and but yeah, I totally agree with you there. It's great to be learning about history and the things we find. I just bought the latest Spink book and I put it onto my iPad, because there's the iPad edition. And of course, when you're out in the field, you can then pinch it and zoom it in a bit more as well. And I've got the year I started, 2019. But then I've just gone and bought the new edition onto the iPad, so it's all digital as well. So you can screen grab it and then send it to a friend. Hi.
Your choice of lunch for when you're out detecting?
Oh God, yeah, it's an essential part.
I love these questions, and I thought I might even keep using these, because everybody's different.
You should. Your first car's got to come into that one as well, and what lunch and what beverage. Yeah, my lunch, it goes between egg mayonnaise and coronation chicken in a seeded, in a nice chicken. Seeded doorstep. And if I'm good, I've had to cut back on them over the years. If I'm good, then I'll have a half of a little mini pork pie.
See, I if I'd stop over at my dad's on a Friday night, because we're closer to where he's detecting, get up in the morning, and my stepmom's got sandwiches made up and wrapped up in foil. Wow. Always says, like, what do you want in sandwich? You don't have to worry about making me. I'm making your dad's. So what do you want? Do you want cheese or cheese and ham or cheese and onion? So just whatever my dad's having, as long as it's got no tomato in it, I'll have whatever. So my dad has 2 pieces of bread and made it cut in half, and she always does me 4 pieces of bread, because she knows I'll eat 4 sandwiches when I'm out.
2 rounds, yeah. How lovely that you detect with your dad. That's special.
He got me into it,
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I know it's your show, but yeah, he bought himself 2 of the Maplin specials for him and his wife to go out with, and it sort of like piqued his interest, and then he saved up, and then he bought the Orcs. So he always had that Maplin special, and I'd go over and visit him, and then he weren't there. I mean, my stepmom would say, "Would he stay detecting?"
Yeah. So
then he'd come back, and then he'd be, you boring old farts, what we're going out and doing that. So then I thought, well, me and Aaron need to get it and do something. So I said, "Can we borrow that detector?" He said, "You can if you want, but it ain't great." So I went out there, and literally it was enough to pique the interest.
Yeah.
And then that's when I decided I was going to save up to get, a proper machine. But no, we love doing it. I don't mind being out on my own sometimes, but he's got better permission than me. And he said that you're always welcome to come over. He said, because, you know, 3 of us out on our own would never do it all. So having an extra person is just an extra person uncovering the good stuff.
For sure. Yeah, in numbers. I mean, I detect with 2 ladies, and yeah, they're really lovely. And I met one through a friend who her boyfriend said, "Oh, my girlfriend's, she does mudlark," and I said, "Oh, so do I." And she couldn't believe I'd got a mudlarking license. And she goes, "Oh, I go bottle digging." I said, "Oh, I'm looking to do bottle digging." Well, anyway, a fella asked me to choose a machine, so I got her to get the Nocta Macro Cruiser wireless head. I made sure she got wireless headphones because I remember not having. You know what I mean? And then her fella got in contact, said, "Oh, I'm looking to drop her up to your permission and to detect all day." I said, "I'm gone all day." And she goes, "Yeah, I'm going to just drop her off. You're like a babysitter if you like." And she was with me all day. She's been detecting with me for a year and a half, about that, nearly 2 years. Yeah, year and a half. And then I was doing a boot sale, and I had this whacking great big camouflage bag, and this young girl came up to me. She goes, "Oh, I like your camouflage bag." I said, "I'm only selling it because my metal detector," and it was my Garrett Euroace at the time. I said, "My metal detector didn't fit in it." She goes, "You're a detectorist?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Follow me on Instagram," and she did. And she said, "Oh, do you mind if I come out?" And I said, "Well, you're lucky because the week you chose, I've also got another girl coming out." So she was really happy that obviously she wasn't joining me alone, because obviously I was a stranger. So she came and joined, and she comes out as well. So you're right, it's good to have multiple bodies on a field covering.
If it's a dire day, I find it helps as well. If you're out on your own, and it becomes so mind-numbingly boring because you're not finding anything, it can just send you into that, "Oh my God, I'm just going to give up." And like today, I never really found out. I think the best thing I found was probably a shotgun cartridge. It was that bad today.
Yeah.
But because I was out, you passed me dad when he's out swinging. Got anything? No, not yet. You passed me brother and me nephew. My brother had a cartwheel, and my little nephew found a couple of little bits and bobs and all that. You got people out there with you. It alleviates anything negative, not finding anything in the ground. And so sometimes it's nice to be out on your own.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt to be in other people's company as well.
No, it's true. But we'd all have walkie-talkies, so we'd all be talking what we found, and of course we all would just go, right, lunch at 1 o'clock, and we'd all sit down. We kept our distance because it was, and what we found, it was brilliant. And the first time they both came out to dig, I mean, they both had cracking days, Claire and Eloise, and I just couldn't believe how well they got on. And I mean, Eloise, the youngest who detects with me, she's got a Garrett Euroace 150 with no headphones, and she's been finding a couple of silver coins and bits and pieces, and
I bet that tone is a joy to the people around without any headphones plugged in. Dong, dong, dong.
I know you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but yeah, the good thing is we've mostly done on mostly pasture land, and my pasture is around about 100 acres, that kind of size. So we are quite spread out, and I've had to go over and help them, a few of them, dig a holes and locate stuff, just so they don't obviously chop any targets in half, because it's an error we all make when we first get out there and into the hobby.
It is. We've only got about 4 or 5 questions left down on the sheet. So again, if people in the chat have got a question, just put it in there, bold capital letters question followed by what it is. It's easier for me to spot, and I'll put it up on the screen for future Bleeps to answer. Right. So how long do you detect for when you are out?
Midweek, I go quite local to me, and that is literally from about 5 o'clock till about 6:30, till it gets roughly dark, so I can get home. And then on the weekend, like tomorrow, I'll be going up the detecting field for about probably 9 o'clock, and then won't come home till about 4 o'clock.
So it's a good 6-7 hours then.
Yeah, I mean, in the real summer times, a couple in my first year. When I properly was getting into it, as you do in that first year, falling in love with the hobby, I left the house here one day. I think it was something like 6:30, and I didn't get in the door till 11:45 at night. And yeah, it was a proper full day, and I just was loving it. I just couldn't get enough. I think my first year I went out digging something like, what was it, 100 and I think I've got it down nearby. Yeah, I did 135 digs in my first year, and I did 66 digs in 2020, and I did 64 digs last year. But yeah, I'm
that
a
counts
bit.
in all the crap as well.
That is all the digs that I've been on, beach digs, because I've kept I keep a diary every dig, what weather it's like, what I find, just so you've got provenance of when you find stuff. It's in a diary that it's all there, you know, that no one. And someone goes, oh, you've found that on eBay. Well, it won't relate to my diary, so it's all written down and documented. So, hey, Marlon.
Which detector would you not use, even if you were paid to?
Oh, blimey, that's a really kind of.
This is where the
question.
snobbery comes out of people.
Yeah, you know what? It's like that coin I found a couple of weeks ago, my stater. Anybody would have found that coin with any machine. It was literally no more than 3 inches down, and that the Tandy special with the orange handle with the silver with the black coil, that would have found it. But you, as we all know, we've got to walk over it, and if you're in doubt, dig it out. But yeah, I'd have to say the Tandy special.
How do you store your finds?
I store them in like a double layered screw drawer that they use in the DIY industry, and the big, you know, the servicemen would use, and it's all compartmentalized, and you can take all these little boxes out. So I put, you know, and I label everything up, all the monarchs when I start finding, and then I've got a big section for all the buttons, they go in. I've got one special tray which is just full of World War I, World War II stuff. And then I've got green buckets with lids that store all the junk, i.e., and that's in the garden, you know, all the lead.
That's pretty much what I got out there. It needs to get sorted out. But I've got those little tubs you can get from Aldi sometimes, you know, like a toolbox that you put screws in, and it's saying all the good stuff in there. What do you want?
Hey, young man. But no, that's what I do in mine.
Yes, this future Bleeps is showing his face.
How are you?
There now.
When?
A couple of weeks ago. But he's still not going to do it in his videos.
Or he's just going to do it for live streams.
Just for live streams and guest appearances. I've got to send a check off for tonight's show.
Or did he do a face reveal because he hit?
I know, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get my new dance with that money.
You just did it randomly.
Just randomly, yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, love you too.
Say to future Bleeps I said hi.
Sleep well. But Jason, make sure you divide all of that up before you go down the scrap merchants, because they will charge you for splitting that up.
The scrap gets split up, and you know, put the lead, the copper, the iron, stuff like that, separate it. But the good stuff is all in those little trays with the flip lid and the dividers. And that's how it started off. Then if I went out for one day and only found a handful of things, basically I just throw it in the little bit by the handbrake in the car. And then obviously it was such a crime to not have your best coins on display. So the best ones to come out of those boxes, and they're in my unearthed coin display, which you can get from Unearthed. There's two different ones that you can choose from. You can get the upright, or the ones that hang on the wall, or the desk display ones.
That's one thing that I've not ventured into yet, is getting one
only $19.99
display cabinets.
But that was it. So once I've taken them out of the boxes, I've left little notes of which coin it is that belongs to that, because that way I can tell roughly which were my better fields.
Yeah.
And you know, which ones are the ones that, you know, don't bother going on there unless you're really desperate.
Yeah.
Have you ever detected a wrong field?
Yes, detectable.
Every one of them.
So I remember when he marched off, and you know, you went under the big coil, and they were going obviously to the fields, the fines fields, and I just thought, do you know what? You know, I just want to get out there. And of course, I was like, well, you know, it's like it was me, Robert Collinson, and Aaron from South Coast. We were in a line, weren't we, across that field?
Yeah.
And for four blokes, not to find anything. Well, we barely had a signal. I think Robert found the most actually. He beat us, didn't he? He had
Yeah.
a couple of musket balls.
I think it was a trip over onto the token field as well, and even that came up fruitless.
Well, just before that, before I met you guys, I had to pay Mother Nature a call, and I was like, oh, there's nobody in this field. And of course, went off wandering, and I thought, actually, there literally is nobody here. I better go back. So I did. Still didn't find anything in that field either.
Right, your quick fire 5 questions.
Go on.
Cricket or golf?
Oh, God, that's a both for me. If I had, is this playing or watching?
Either or.
Well, okay. I can't. It's both for me. I love both sports. But
You can only have one. Though.
Golf.
Golf. I'll go with that one. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
I'm a coffee man myself, and
Used
I've
to
just
drink
recently got into those beanies.
Oh, not
Very.
heard of them.
That is a really nice one. The chocolate one. They do various other ones as well, but some of them are all right and some of them are not.
I mostly drink caffeine-free stuff. Otherwise
Marvel or DC?
Oh, now you because I used to collect comics, and this is why when I first come across your channel, I was like, yeah, I'm a big lover of Batman, massive lover of Batman, and so yeah, I'd have to say DC.
Good boy. Trick question: day or Nighthawk?
Oh, day, you can see everything. I've never done it.
That was
well.
the fun one I threw in there for that. That's not a serious
although I have done a nighttime dig, and like I say, you've got your headlamp on, and yeah, it's a different ball game. I don't know how they do it, but they're dodgy so-and-sos, aren't they?
Beef or chicken for your Sunday roast?
Oh, God, yeah, that is just tricky. Well, I'll do like a bit of pork. I'd have to go with chicken.
Chicken, well done. I would go with beef normally, which is what I had today. And coins or relics?
Oh, well, I haven't found that many relics, so I'm going to say relics because I find loads
See,
of
I'm a
coins.
coin. I like finding the coins. I've got a coin streak going at the moment.
Have you?
Which it's kind of sort of like halted today, but because I didn't actually make a video, my coin streaking videos still carries on. If I actually do a video where I don't find a coin, then that's going to break the streak.
Yeah.
Scott Owens with a question. Where did you come up with the name Future Bleeps?
Ah, that's a good question, Scotty. Well, years ago, well, still today, I'm massively into electronic music, and I used to have Future Bleeps on MySpace, and I've always been Future Bleeps for going to gigs and reviewing the gig and talking about electronica music and ambient music, and so and when I become a detectorist, I all of a sudden just went on and thought, you find an old page in a book somewhere, you think, oh yeah, I remember that having that, because MySpace disappeared, and I don't do Facebook or anything like that, bar obviously Instagram, which is connected, but yeah, so that's where it came from. So it was a nice easy transition to swap that from music into metal detecting. Yeah.
Any more questions in the chat? We've got about 5 minutes left before we end this show, and then we head over to my other one for the After 9 Naughtiness, where we just do what we used to do on Saturday. I know it's what most people do like, but like I said, it's one of these new things that I just wanted to try and see how it goes on, and I've a good response so far. I think we were up to 26 in the chat area, which is pretty good. So thank you to everyone that is taking the time to come in. There you go. Treasure Nation. Relics tell a story where coins, as good as they are just coins. Yeah, but you're holding a coin that somebody else may have been holding just before they dropped it. And that may have been 2 days worth of wages, dropping a coin, as much as a penny back in the day.
I mean, my first year detecting, I found 13 silver coins, 3 hammards, and then 2020, I found 9 silver coins, 4 hammards, and then last year was my best year of finding coins. I found 37 silver coins last year, 8 hammards. So yeah, I've found some cracking silver coins. I've been quite blessed with work. My work takes me in and out of schools a lot, so I go into some of these Victorian schools, and I worked in a school last summer and asked the head, you know, could you mind if I detect your land? And she said, oh, I don't know, and kind of showed her what I was about on my channel, and she went, oh, actually, yeah, you can do that.
That'd be good, because if you're doing it, and if it's sort of like maybe they could get you in. Obviously, they'd have to do the proper checks and all that, but sort
yeah,
of
I'm
kids.
DBS checked.
Yeah, so it's a case of like maybe they could, okay, for a history lesson, why don't we bring him in?
Well, that's exactly what happened.
And there you go.
That's exactly what happened, because I found in that school grounds 19 silver coins, a gold ring dating back to 1859, lovely gold wedding band, 7 World War One army badges, collar, cap badges, and even had 4 live rounds. Thankfully, the bullets have just cracked off, but the gunpowder was still in there. And the head, I said, I'll come in and present all the finds to you. And she said, yeah, by all means. And she goes, I'm going to have the history teacher in as well. And I said, oh, okay, I'll meet the history teacher. Well, they were completely, because I'd found lead toys and badges, cycling proficiency badges, Cub Scout badges, you name it, I found in. And this school field was no more than 1/4 of an acre big, a real small primary school, but really old Victorian. And she said, oh, would you mind coming in and doing a treasure hunting? And, you know, because the children were studying history and treasure hunting, would you mind coming in to do a lesson? I said, oh, not really done that sort of thing before, but yeah, you know, I said, I'd definitely do that. And they got me in twice. Well, I appeared in their school magazine that I'd gone in, and they put my link in. And
did they cover your face?
No, they didn't, because it's a local thing, but not many. It wasn't going on the internet, so I was all right. But it wouldn't matter now. But yeah, so that's I've been good. So I'd like to find more relics. So I agree with who made the point. Was it Treasure
Val.
Nation? Yeah.
And Val said, yeah, Treasure Nation. Val said something about it. I don't mind finding relics. Like you get like the little buckles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm having an average day or not a very good day, one coin makes that day for me. And you know, it's one of those ones that it lifts the spirits. But there's nothing worse than finding a coin first thing in the video, and then that's first thing in the day, and then you rest the day with nothing. But if I find one coin, that you know, it's good for me.
No, you're
Philip
right.
Wales said, "Is the audio live or dubbed on your videos?"
All of it's live. The only thing that's dubbed is some of the birds tweeting, as in the birds singing, because you know some days you just won't get that amount of birds. But all that audio of me digging is all completely right. But you do. Cool. There are obviously some birds singing in the background, but I ramp it up and include it over the top because I just want to have that kind of ambient.
See, there's me and Roseanne. We got the same interest there. One coin makes our day.
Oh, it does.
And the coins are the easiest objects to find, no doubt.
They ping beautifully with the dice.
Yeah.
And most.
But yeah, like Roseanne, it's one coin can make the day. You can have a really dire day, and to me, I can dig up a crusty coin, and that'll do for me. Because what I'll do is I'll get the Dremel on it, and I'll inscribe something on it and send it off to Kev. And right, it's 9 o'clock, so we're going to call that here. Well, I better put in the link for the After 9 Naughtiness, which is there. So if you wanted to head off over to there, I will be over there in a second. We're 27 in the chat now, so if you're just coming in now, watch it on the playback, enjoy it. Thank you to Spencer, aka Future Bleeps, for coming along tonight and talking about the tech bit. And it's so nice for you to put your face out there so everyone knows what you look like now. And at this year's Detective Ball, I won't be shocked by somebody who looks like a rep walking towards me to say hello.
I was like that when
It was. Evening, chaps. You enjoying yourself? Yeah. Oh my God, it's Future Bleeps! So again, thanks for coming along, mate. And if you
Nice to
want,
see you all.
put the link in the chat on the next stream. Feel free to jump on if you want to, or sit back in the chat and just watch the fun that goes on. So for those people that are still in here, click on the link, get over to the other one. I'll see you there in a minute. Thank you for everyone that's come in, and
Thank you.
enjoy
Be lucky,
the
everybody.
feedback. And please leave feedback. You know, much as people have been commenting
Cheers,
in
Scotty.
this chat after the video's gone up, I think it's 24 hours after a live stream that you see the live chat back. And also, please leave a comment on the video. Give me some feedback about whether this is the sort of thing you want to see carry on going. It'll be a fortnightly thing. Feedback's always welcome. So, Spence,
Jason,
thank you very much, mate.
Jason, thanks for
Legend,
having me on.
YouTube
Thank you very
royalty,
much.
and we'll both sign off together, and we'll see you on the After 9 Naughtiness. See ya.
Cheers,
Ta-ra.
guys. All the best. Be lucky.